Has one of your favorite bands put out an album that you thought was so egregiously bad that you just wanted to take it and remix it? That's what we're gonna be doing today. I have always wanted to remix something off of Saint Anger, mostly because of the snare, but now as I'm like re-listening to it years later, the whole mix is just kind of bad. It's like Metallica couldn't be bothered to tune their instruments or anything. And I am aware that Metallica's Saint Anger is very low-hanging fruit. The snare has been ridiculed on this album since it was released, but you know, I just kind of wanted to see if we could do some justice for this, even though I won't be able to play any of the music at length because, you know, hello, Metallica, Napster. You remember that? I also forgot that all of these songs are like 7 or 8 minutes long. Now let me explain why I want to do this and just paint this picture for you here a little bit. When I was 18 years old, Saint Anger came out, and this came out after, you know, the Black Album, which is still regarded as like one of the best produced and mixed and engineered albums in the metal genre of all time. Like, it still holds up, it's still really great. So this came off the backs of not only the Black Album, but Load and Reload, regardless of how you feel about those albums. And also Garage Inc., which is like low-key one of my favorite Metallica albums of all time, even though they're all cover songs. I remember buying this CD because, you know, it was like a thing you did back then, and being so disappointed listening to it in the car after I bought it because it sounded so bad, even by 2003 standards, which were pretty low, if we're being honest. Now, the CD that I bought did come with like a DVD, like a live performance. I remember watching that thinking like, oh yeah, they like had to include that because like the audio quality on the CD was so bad, they didn't want to like give you no way to consume this music in any enjoyable way. The live performance was engineered and produced and mixed just much, much better. And you know, they should have just like used that. If they would have released that as Saint Anger, I think probably a lot more people would be happy with it. But they released you know, the Anger Fist right here. I mean, it's a cultural meme at this point. But there's one song on here that I always thought was like super, super heavy, and I always thought it could be really cool, but you know, it just ended up on like kind of a shitty album. And that is Invisible Kid. I mean, that's pretty heavy, right? Like, I think we can all agree it's pretty heavy, especially for Metallica. It doesn't even sound like Metallica in the beginning. Like, what are they tuned to? It's like drop B or something like that. Lower, it's like drop F, sharp. I don't know. Now, maybe it's not a Metallica album. Maybe it's like a personal album that you have from like one of your bands in the past that, you know, you recorded when you didn't really know how to mix or anything like that. None of us ever do that, right? Maybe it's something like that that you just want to, or maybe you're gonna go karaoke and you just want to remove the vocals, or maybe you just want to extract the guitar from like a crazy death metal song with lots of blast beats and stuff like that to be able to isolate it and be able to hear what's actually going on to learn it better. There are a bunch of different ways that you could go about this process. You could like email the band, you know, and ask them if they have the masters and they can send you the stems. Or you could use something like today's sponsor, LALAL AI. And if you would like to check out LALAL AI, there's a link for that down in the description below. They also have a new referral program, so if you refer one of your friends, both of you will receive free time for LALAL AI. You can see here, this is their website. It uses AI to extract vocals, accompaniment, and various instruments from any audio or video. And it gives you a little bit of an idea here what they do. Orion Next Gen AI for next level separation quality. 70% cleaner results, 2 times faster splitting, 20 times more trained. I have no idea what that means. Orion recreates and enhances stems instead of simply cutting them out. 2.5 million satisfied users. Let's see if they get 2.500001 me users. Let's go ahead and sign up for this. So I'm going to go ahead and upload that Metallica song. Never mind how I got the song to upload, but I'm going to go ahead and upload that Metallica song here. And 100%. Okay, and now it's processing. You know, I just thought about this too. This is probably how people do those like AI vocal covers. You know, like Drake in The Weeknd. Oh, look, okay, instrumental. So you can see the pricing options here. The Pro plan is $35 for a one-time fee, but you get up to 2 gigabytes and 500 minutes. Starter for listening only, you can do that for $0. Light for splitting medium data volumes, high data volumes, Pro. Okay, so let's just go with Pro because I think I have an activation key here. Let's see if it actually splits out the drums correctly. Okay, well, let's see what we could get out of this and what we could do with it here. We're gonna go activation key. I'm gonna go like that. Yay! And it's giving me 8 minutes and 28 seconds. So the time frame it gives you is like how much processing time. And since this is a Metallica song off Saint Anger, it's gonna be like 8.5 minutes. So basically you purchase time, like how much time you need to extract things here, you know, depending on the length of the song. So I feel like that's kind of important, but yeah, I have 100 minutes there. Let's see. So this is just giving me drums. And you can see up here how much time you have left. I have 100 minutes. So, you know, we couldn't quite remix all of Saint Anger if we wanted to. Okay, so it's gonna give me 2 tracks. It's gonna give me one without drums and then one with the drums, which is helpful because the drums are sort of like the biggest part of the problem here. But I feel like I'm gonna have to do this for all of the things. So first thing we're gonna do is we're going to, and you can see it's taking a minute. So it's extracted the drums from the actual song here. We still have some of the cymbals in the actual song file, but that's okay. Let's cut these drums out. So drums. And this is a 1 minute song, so let's see how long this actually takes here. Let's do the bass, get the bass off this song. I'm mainly only worried about the drums, the bass, and the guitar at this point. I feel like if we get stems of those things, then we can sort of get some decent mix on the beginning. I don't know though. Okay, and now we're gonna download the bass. Let's extract the guitars. Okay, that didn't take long at all. There's some snare drum in there, but we are going to just go with it. It's mostly guitar, so I feel like we could probably make it work. You know, as long as like we can push things a little bit, I feel like this is gonna give us a lot better of an opportunity to actually do something with it than we could if we just had like the track on its own and we were trying like mastering tools or something. You're definitely not gonna fix that snare drum by EQing the whole mix, if you know what I mean. I'm gonna start importing these guys. So we have drums, we have bass, and now we have electric guitar. So that is all we're going to use LALAL AI to do. Let's kind of see how these things fit together here. These are all of the split stems together, by the way. Like we can turn the bass way up if watched. That actually sounds very good. But I want to go kind of to an unnecessary level here. So I think what we're gonna do, I'm actually gonna load up an instance of Superior Drummer so I can get better drum tones. And then in here, we are going to go to the tracker. And I'm gonna take the drum split that we got from LALAL AI. We're gonna drag it into Superior Drummer. Okay, and then some of these other ones, the velocity, like it kind of didn't split them out exactly. Like when it split out the drums, you could hear the top of the drum was ending up on the guitar track. And so Superior Drummer is not recognizing that right away, but we could just lower the threshold and we should be okay. Let's try this again. Let's add another track, okay. And then let's do this one. It's gonna be kick. Okay, so our second track here is gonna be kick, and we're going to see if we can reduce the bleed. So we want to reduce the bleed from the other track here. Okay, we are somewhere close. This isn't going to be perfect, but is it going to be better? I don't know. Let's try it. Let's try it and see what happens. Okay, so now we are going to export the MIDI here, and we're going to go drag this here. And I'm pretty sure that this song was not recorded to a metronome because I couldn't get this to line up to the grid, and that would make life a lot easier. But yeah, it's just not gonna be the case here. I'm gonna go into the drums and I'm just gonna load up like a mix that I already have. So now, okay, and we're gonna go in here and some of these hits are like super weak. I'm not really too worried about this being like, you know, human sounding. You can hear some of that top end of the snare in the guitar. Okay, let's just see if we can clean up some of this stuff here a little bit. Let's add some compression. We already have like a lot of compression going on in here. But you know what would be really cool is if we had some saturation, so, oh, let's try this. Let's try Nectar. Okay, it sounded a little bit better. Let's hear it with bass. The bass is sounding pretty big. It's kind of hard to tell what is actually going on here with the drums. You know, at first I thought maybe like the drum tracking, like the MIDI was bad, but that's actually what he's playing. We did our best with the limitations we had and the given time that we had to do this, so maybe let's just like add a SSL compressor on here. We're gonna try and sidechain the MIDI drums to the actual drum track, and that way it'll duck down a little bit on like that really annoying snare frequency. And let's find out where that frequency is. All right, so the way we're gonna do this is we're actually gonna go here and we're just gonna grab the send and receive from the MIDI and drag it up to the drums. And we want the audio to come out of 1 and 2 on the sending track and to come in as audio new channels on receiving track 3 and 4. And then over here on the EQ that we have, we're gonna go in here to these little settings, and you can see it automatically set that up as our sidechain here in this little window that's not getting bigger when I expand it. Hopefully you can read that. But it's setting up our left and right from channels 3 and 4 as our sidechain, left and right. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna activate the compressor in this JST EQ plugin. I'm gonna drop the threshold in. And then our release will be really fast, and our taxi will be really fast too. And then what we wanna do is we just wanna like drop this up. And you can see it cutting down here a little bit. It's not cutting down as much as I want to. You know, it's helping out a little bit, but that ring on that snare drum is just kind of going into every instrument track here. It's really hard to get under control. So let's see what that ends up sounding like. So we definitely have like some more punchy snares in there, some more bass drum. To be honest with you, it's not exactly the result I was looking for, but I think it's really cool. I think it's a really useful tool, especially like if you are gonna do a vocal cover or something like that and you just wanna get rid of the vocals in a song, for example, you can use LALAL AI to do that. Or like I mentioned, if you wanna be able to extract the guitars just to hear what's going on with the guitars, you can do that as well within reason. Now, what I was trying to use it for here, we might be pushing it past its limitations, which would be to get extremely clean stems that we could remix. They're not completely isolated. There's still a little bit of bleed over like you guys heard, but I think for what it is, it does a really good job. All right, shout out to LALAL AI for sponsoring this video. Shout out to you for being here with me. Did you guys like it? Make sure to hit the like button. If you guys like what I do here on my channel, consider subscribing. I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.